so.
Question one.
What are you doing in Louisville, exactly?
Well, I think the real question is, what am I not doing? Well, today, we're doing a show on HLE called American Dream. And what I love about American Dream is that it's a journey you sort of take about a family or a story, people sort of living the American dream, and sometimes how that dream goes. Sometimes good, bad, struggling with the economy. It's always a different story. But I think what's really great about these guys,
Spelling bee chance?
well, no, that was a different family. This is the Lindsay family. These are
The Lindsay family.
Lindsay family. They are bluegrass singers family.
Lindsy.
You better check that.
Okay.
I think it's SEY. But yeah, this is like basically a traveling, singing, spreading the gospel type family. But it's an interesting dynamic, and when you hear them, it's quite amazing. I mean, really are quite talented. But there's also another family I worked with earlier that was a spelling champion.
The Saints?
Yeah, the Saints. And there's another girl by the name
Emily Pike?
Yes.
Yeah, I met her when we did the spelling bee together. I think we were both in 4th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
she's from Pikesville, and it's Emily
Keaton.
Oh, Keaton.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know where I got that.
But yeah, really, really cool, smart kids, great families. And so yeah, we come to one town like Louisville, and we're sort of doing 2 shows at the same time. But anyway, like I said, what I love about the show is it's an hour that you dive into another person's story. And even when I was on the Extreme Makeover Home Edition, it really was about telling that family story. So I love it when I can do that. You sort of take a journey with them and see what their life is all about. And in both cases, it's 2 completely different journeys.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I'm doing.
All right, so you're probably most well known for Extreme Makeover Home Edition, so I'm going to ask you some questions about that.
Sure.
First of all, I actually don't know much about it. I've seen a couple episodes, but were you the first host, the main host?
Yes.
Okay, so what drew you to the show? I guess you sort of helped create it.
It's funny, I was on a show before that called Trading Spaces, which is, it's interesting. 2 neighbors would switch houses, and we decorate a room in their house, and then we bring them back, and
I think I remember that show.
yeah, and sometimes they would like it, and sometimes they would hate it. They would cry.
Yeah.
They would cry for the wrong reasons, and so I was thinking, it'd be great to do a show where people, cry for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I was sort of brought out to have meetings, having coffee, and talked about doing a show with me, and I sort of had an idea to sort of build 3 tree houses for Make-A-Wish kids and that kind of thing. But it was one of the shows that it found itself. So I was in creative meetings, and it was a show about basically these guys wanted to do a show that was like 6 designers stuck on a bus, sort of like Survivor meets Monster House, which is you're trying to build a house in 7 days. There's a lot of fighting and people trying to agree on what should go where. But in the process, the show found its identity because you realize that it's about having the family, about their story, and about people coming together and doing a great thing. But that's not what they were looking for. It's sort of like it found its own identity. And I think anything really worth doing isn't necessarily one person's creation. It sort of finds its own life, and it evolves from that. And I think our show really did. It turned into something that was not only life-changing for the families that we helped, but it was also life-changing for everybody involved in it. I mean, you really became a different person because you, as an artist, like putting something on the wall or designing something that people may like is one thing, but when you give something to somebody who it has such meaning and it makes such a difference in their life that it changes the outcome of their life, it's much more rewarding than just that's really pretty to look at.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess that answers 3. What are some of the perks of the show? Like, do you get to go to unreleased places, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, honestly, yeah. You sort of get a double-edged sword. You travel a lot, because I travel like every 3 days, but the perks were honestly this. The perks of the show were the fact that you did the impossible and you proved that it was possible. You got to work with some really amazing people. You did meet a lot of incredible people who wanted to change the world. But I mean, you traveled a little bit, yeah. I mean, in the process, I did get to see every